Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Social Blueprint interview. And friends, as you know, we are so much more than just interviews. We have, I believe, the largest calendar of events that are going on in the Melbourne Jewish community. We also have so many resources with over 500 businesses signed up. All is there for you and for free. All you need to do is to sign up and like our channel. But now back to the video at hand, and certainly October 7th has been a game changer on so many levels. And what we want to do over the next number of months is bring to you people's firsthand accounts of what they saw, what they witnessed. And I can't think of a better group of people to be interacting with than travel agents that specialize in sending Australians over to Israel of multi-denominations, I may add. And with that, I'd like to welcome Steve and Debbie Green. Welcome to the Social Blueprint.
Thanks for having us.
Great. Guys, you just came back. We want to hear what was your experience over there. I believe you were there 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we got back about 2 weeks ago, and we went over to check in with our people. We do send a lot of groups over, and over the years have come to know and love tour operators, other tour professionals, tour guides that give their hearts and souls to showing Israel off to both Jewish and Christian groups that we get over there. We'd been waking up every morning totally distressed, and with the opportunity to go, felt we'd go and give them our love and support and let them know we're here with them and for them. We did have the opportunity to get to the kibbutzim down south and the music festival site, Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, and what we saw and felt was very special in a strange kind of way.
And also, one of the themes that we are hearing, though, is that ironically morale is very high and that people are fairly united. Did you get that sense as well?
I think morale is high, but as a community, everyone is together, but they're also, on the whole, they're exhausted, their hearts are broken. Because Israel, as we know, is so united, everybody knows something that unfortunately, has been killed, kidnapped, injured, or still being held as a hostage. So united, they're all united in their goal at the moment, but I think they're also traumatized.
It's certainly understandable. And being united in the goal, everybody has their part to play. Your travel agents, can you just tell us a little bit about the trips that you organize, and especially the non-Jewish trips that you organize? Because I don't think people understand just quite how many people go over to Israel annually.
It's absolutely true, and the statistics from the Ministry of Tourism tell us that the majority of Israel's visitors are not Jewish, up to 75%.
Wow.
Which is quite incredible. And so we've had the opportunity over many years to develop relationships with Christian groups from different denominations, Catholics, Anglicans, Baptists,
Christian Zionists.
And on the other scale are the Christian Zionists, who are the evangelical Christians that in many ways are more supportive of Israel than the Jewish community. Their love, the support, and the biblical beliefs that they have for God's place for the Jewish people and Israel is phenomenally strong, and what they do for Israel is exceptional. So
I'm curious, because it feels, certainly in the media war, that there's so much pro-Palestinian information all the time. The groups are so loud. But do you all sense that then there is maybe a quiet middle ground that is very supportive of the Israeli position?
100%. I mean, you've got a rally being held in Sydney next weekend that's been organised by non-Jewish groups to stand against anti-Semitism, and we all need to lend our support in any way we can to them as well. we visited a kibbutz that wasn't attacked on October 7, kibbutz Dorot, that are now, they've come back to the kibbutz. They were relocated for 3 months. They've now come back and they're building, they're changing their infrastructure for kids and the schools, and they need some more bomb shelters, and that's all being funded by a non-Jewish group. So amazing support out there. Millions of dollars being donated to help this kibbutz.
Interesting, and it's really refreshing, frankly, to hear that there is support, because do you feel, and you're very Zionistic, both of you, I believe that you met on Immerse, is that right?
We both were leading academy, and that's how we met.
Interesting. But it's nice to hear that there is that support when it feels like we are very alone, doesn't it?
100%. We as a Jewish community, we need to look to get, we want support from everyone and anyone, but it's very reassuring to know that there is this committed support base out there supporting the Jewish people.
Right. Now, our job again is, it feels like we're doing the heavy lifting in our generation. You're travel agents. Tell us the state of traveling to Israel right now.
It's certainly accessible and possible. If anything, the airfares have come down a bit.
Yes.
And there are ways to get there. More airlines that suspended are now flying. Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, the Kinneret, you actually wouldn't really know that there's a war on it in Israel. And so when we were there, we saw the first busloads of German tourists, American tourists, and a Taiwanese group are back.
That's great to hear. And now getting into the details for a moment, one of the big issues we do hear about is insurance when traveling over there. Is it possible to get insurance?
100%. So not all companies are selling insurance, but there are still some that are selling insurance to Israel, and it's full comprehensive cover. Other people are just electing to go with health insurance once they land in Israel, but our recommendation would be you actually need full travel insurance. If your bag goes, normal things that can happen when you travel, like your bag going missing. So there are 100% companies doing
that can happen anytime.
Correct. There are 100% companies doing insurance. Sometimes we like to hear what everybody else is saying.
Right.
Maybe gives us an excuse not to go, but there are definitely ways to get to Israel, and there's definitely ways to get insurance.
And if you don't mind me asking, as far as the impact on business post October 7th, how have you seen it, and what is the current state?
Most of the Christian groups that we have decided to postpone,
right?
Which is a better outcome than to cancel.
Right.
We had a number of groups there on October the 7th that we went into emergency control. Everyone came out safely and happy. And I think there's a real holding pattern. Everyone just wants to wait and see. And then there are those groups that are motivated by the fact that there are things that they can and should be doing right now, and mobilizing and going over.
I think now is a very, not sure if special is the right word, but to be in Israel in the first half of 2024 is definitely going to be remembered as a special way to be there. There's so much that Israel needs right now. There are, foreign workers that have all left. There's farms that need help. If farming's not your thing, there's an amazing organisation called Runs Angels in Tel Aviv. They've converted a basement car park, and basically goods are being donated and then sent out straight away to displaced families, to families moving back to the south. So, there's groups cooking, there's sit tying, there's you name it. You can go visit displaced families in hotels and play with kids, especially if you're an OT or a speech therapist. They're always looking for that sort of help. So no matter what you can do, like your specialty, Israel needs you at the moment. And
volunteering, that is something that both of you did when you were over there?
We did. We were there for a short time, but we spent an afternoon at an army truck stop. So that's just an older gentleman that was sitting at home and said, I have to do something. And he started organising tea and coffee and biscuits, and it's now grown to lunches and dinners, and he's got volunteers coming all the time. So we spend an afternoon there, and it's really special because you get to speak to the soldiers.
Right.
There's, amazing.
And did you feel like that just by being there, at least you're supporting the local economy, you're just doing your part, so to speak?
I've never been made to be so appreciated in all my trips to Israel.
Right.
Even not volunteering, but just turning up. You've come from where? And just the thank you and the appreciation you get is so amazing. Yes.
That's one of the key themes that we are hearing from people is just the feeling that the diaspora is so critically important, that Israelis need to know that we are there.
Absolutely. I think not just for the moral support, but a lot of Israel's economy relies on tourists. So if volunteer is not your thing, just going and staying in a hotel and going out for dinner, giving the waitress a big tip.
Right.
If you go to the Kippah Man in Ben Yehuda Street, don't buy 5 kippot, buy 10.
Right.
Just little things that anyone can do.
Yeah, no, it's just, it really is an incredible time. I know that you feel like that when we were communicating, you spoke about the 1973, the war, the people going over just to pack the sandbags. Do you feel that you're packing the sandbags, so to speak?
Yeah, I think now is our time, and in our demographic, one of the things that we can all do is travel.
Right.
And it's easier than packing sandbags in some ways, just to get there and bear witness and be with the people.
We happened to be in Israel for the 100th days, and we were at the square in Tel Aviv. And I think what sticks with me most is every family members and friends were speaking in Hebrew, and my Hebrew is not so great. So if there was something I thought I wanted to really understand, I'd tap the person on the shoulder next to me and say, "What did they say?"
Right.
And they'd be like, "Where are you from?" They'd give me a hug.
Right.
They just were so happy to know that that they're not alone and that the rest of the world cares.
Yeah, and I think it's so critically important, especially here being so far away, that these rallies that we have in Caulfield Park or whatever it may be, people actually do appreciate it, and it is getting noticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm just curious for both of you that the connection to being Jewish and being, whether it's the Jewish day schools, the community here, bringing it back, do you feel like the connection is like nothing you've ever experienced before?
Good question. I definitely think that our community in the last 4 months has gotten stronger.
Right.
I keep seeing people who perhaps haven't been so affiliated with the community turning around going, I need to be more affiliated.
Right.
Whether they've been disappointed by some friends who aren't sort of in the community.
Yeah.
They're coming back and they're finding that strength definitely in that community.
Yeah, and if there's one takeaway that I'm taking from this is that there actually are a lot of people that are supportive of us, who they may not shout from the rooftops and they may not be on Facebook and posting every nonstop, but they do implicitly believe.
100%.
And I think that that's very, very important, especially when we all know that TikTok is putting out a ton of pro-Hamas videos by the minute, that it may not be all one-way traffic.
No, look, I mean, without getting into politics, there's obviously, in the last few days, there are certain elements of the political system in Australia that are definitely not our friend.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing some people not in our community coming out and speaking back against that political party.
Yes. Now, turning it a little bit personal, everyone, there's no right or wrong, is dealing with the situation differently there. As far as managing your own state of mind, if you will, being glued to your phone 24/7, any tidbits, because it does feel like it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint, for managing yourself as much as anything?
Great question, because some of us do tend to get too involved in being glued to the phone and needing to right something that appears wrong, and that's all very well and good. I think we just have to find that balance so that it doesn't affect your mental health. and surround yourself with do other things. Surround yourself with people that you can talk to. I have this really weird thing of actually watching Al Jazeera and some of the other channels, just to try and get perspective of how other people could possibly think something totally different to where I come from.
And I assume that you try not to do that 20 minutes before you're going to go to bed.
I do, but then 5 minutes before I go to bed, I put Sky back on, and then all is better in the world.
Again, there's no right or wrong answer.
I don't think I'm a good person to comment on that at the moment, because I can't admit that I found my balance just yet, but I do agree that we're in for a long haul. In particular, also in our community, I don't see Australia going back to the way it was for a long time. So it's definitely a long haul.
Yeah, and I think that's it is a eye-opener of just the level of anti-Semitism. I think that's what has stunned people, even perhaps more than the actual attack itself.
100%.
Is the reaction, and even by October 9th, there was already a lot of anti-Israel rallies. So it's not just.
And if I can just add, given that we are in touch with a lot of Christian community, the message that they're seeing is that it doesn't stop with the Jewish community, and that if they don't make a stand with and for us, potentially they're next. So,
right. Well, everybody, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and it's great to hear on a positive note. We always want to end with a positive. We do have more friends than maybe is being let on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for watching.